So you guys know that we're going to be doing this presentation. We're going to start right at 10 o'clock. This presentation that we're going to be recording it. We're doing it live.
That's it. We're actually, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it and get started now. Yeah, I already got recorded going, and we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Jason Martinez with Summit Alliance Advantage, and we're going to be going into detail about our system and getting in front of people, because we really, feel like we've designed a system that's, just like the screen says, we don't want our agents to be a secret agent. It's important to let people know what you do. We're in a noble profession, and, and it's just good to take pride in what you do, learn the different ways to network, learn the different ways to get out there, learn how to not necessarily be a lead junkie. Of course, we have a great lead program. Many of you know about our lead program. Our leads are exclusive. We generate them, for one reason and one reason only, and that's so agents can write business that goes issue paid. We look up there, just copy paste. It's funny. An agent that I worked with in the past told me this story, but they had worked with, and this was in an administrative office, and they had worked in the administrative office, and they had a lady that had worked there for many years, and just kind of walking through the office, they noticed that this person, it was data entry, pretty much did the same thing, a lot of the same entry, and, they would type their entry because that's what they were used to. That's that from a typewriter to a computer. That's how they did their data entry. And so as she's walking by, she's, just kind of walks over to her and shows her copy paste. And, from there, she was able to copy paste the whole way through it. And it's just funny because something so simple, just by knowing about it, made, her task that much easier, just as silly as it sounds. But, what we have here is a copy paste system. And, so if you do exactly that, you just come in, you absorb it, you learn it, you follow the training, you follow the guidance, you're going to go out there and, be very successful in this business. And so, like it says here, again on the screen, systems run the business and people run the system. We have, you hear about systems all the time. You hear about systems being perfected and, the different things that go into, a good system. And, there's a lot of ingredients. And if you change something in that system, more than likely, your system's going to change. The outcome's going to change. And, so again, just copy paste, stick with it. And we're going to go ahead and, as I said, just jump right into it. I'm going to bring up, the person that has really put this together, perfected this over the years and, just made it a phenomenal, effective system. And, with that, without further ado, I know we're kind of crunched for time. We want to make sure and get the whole training within the training hour here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on Mr. Ray McDonald. So pass that over to you.
Thank you, Jason. Hey guys, welcome to the training that we're doing here today, guys. And we're doing a series of training. This training is being recorded live right now to speak, and also is going to be in our website as well. So we're recording this live and it'll be on the website as well. So, but it's important to understand the systems behind Summit Alliance Advantage. And one of the things we always talk about, how we're a different kind of company, how we do things differently, and how that is just a system that we have. And to be successful in any business model, you have to have a system, you have to have accountability, you have to have goals, you have to have a mission statement and whatnot. So here, Summit Alliance Advantage, we have an incredible program. We have a lead program that's phenomenal, but more importantly, it's the system that we have here, because like Jason was talking about here, you don't want to be lead dependent and you don't want to be a lead junkie. You want to utilize the entire system to benefit. And the idea of the system is to help you become a well-rounded agent and to really learn your business and to grow your business in the way that that you really want to do so, and do it so in the right way. This system is designed, again, for help you become a well-rounded agent. It's also for individuals who are not licensed to be able to come in to be licensed to get their license and learn the system the right way. And also for agents who've been out there been hurting and struggling in their business because they have no system or they have no accountability. Now they can come in and truly learn something that would teach them and show them how to be accountable, how to have a system and whatnot. So let me kind of jump right into it. We have the interview phase and the agent info phase. We have phase 1, the goals and why, phase 2, and the we goal report, and phase 3, time to get out there, and phase 4 is all about action, plan and execute, time to order your leads, come in and set your appointments, knock doors if you have direct mail leads, and start writing applications. And our goal here at Summit Line's Advantage is to teach you and to show you, not just you, but you and your team, how to be writing, producing, productive agents. And this will definitely help get you there. So let me kind of jump right into it here. So the first slide here is the info sheet. Now, ideally, what you want to do when you're working and building your team, your agency, when someone comes into and see the opportunity either at a live event or to see maybe see a webinar or to see a presentation online or even however they see the presentation, this is what you do immediately after. When someone shows, hey, I'm interested in joining your team, I'm interested in joining this business, I like what I see, I like your mission statement, I want to move forward, this is what you're going to do. They're going to fill out this form, okay? And it has their name, phone number, email, data contact, are they licensed, yes or no. We need all this filled out, okay? It's very important you fill all this out and make sure that your upline manager, but more importantly, that the home office has this, because once your new agent is on board, we want to input all their data into our network here, the home office, so we can be able to email them, send them text messages, able to communicate, so they are informed on what's going on at all times and everything. So it's very important that we have that. Now, this is the interview phase. Now, when you set up the interview phase should be done within 24 to 48 hours after they've seen the presentation. So if someone wants to saw a presentation, say on a Tuesday morning, 24 to 48 hours, you want to have them do the info sheet, what you just saw, and also the interview. And the interview is very basic, very simple. The system we have is very simple and very basic. Basically, going to ask, number 1, is a big circle, little circle true? Yes or no? Which applies to you? Am I in a big circle or am I in a little circle? Or I don't know which one I want. So you just want to check each box. Am I ready to start taking steps necessary to move into the little circle? Yes or no? What applies to you? And they're going to check all. If they check one or all the boxes, this depends on them and what they're looking for. Number 5 is, from what you learned in the meeting, do you feel that Summit Line's Advantage is a way for you to achieve your goals financially? This is important. Do you want them to know the answer to this? And they say yes. Then number 6, you ask them, well, what would you like to make annually with Summit Line's Advantage? For me, this is a very important question, because if someone says, well, I want to make $100,000 a year with Summit Line's Advantage, and then on number 7, when they ask how many hours a week are you willing to work, and they say, I'm willing to do 10 hours, I'm like, okay, wait a second. You want to make $100,000 a year, but you want to do 10 hours a week. So that kind of tells me a lot, okay? So this kind of used as a gauge to help you when you're working with your new agent. Number 8 is how teachable and coachable are you? Now, these next series of questions are important, but again, you want to know, who am I working with, who am I dealing with, and whatnot. So number 8, or how teachable and coachable are you? From a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, again, this is going to help you to identify who they are. Then we have, number 9, how well do you work with a team? From a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you follow a system? Again, this is important because you want people that can be following a system. You don't want people to say, hey, you want people to be scoring, no less than an 8. You got someone scoring a 4 or a 5, you're going to have your work cut out for you. Okay, you want people that are like-minded. You want people who share the same vision that you have, that follow your lead. And then I go to number 6 here. I'm saying, oh, sorry. Next one here is how important is achieving your goals with someone like Advantage. Again, this should be a 10 or no less than an 8, because should be achieving their goals should be very, very important for them. And then at number 12, what I asked to do is I asked for them to give me 6 character references. Hey, Bob, we're excited to be working with you. Coming forward, I need to some references from you. Give me some names of people and phone numbers of people that I could get and ask about your credibility. Okay, so Bob will give me 6 names and 6 phone numbers. What I'll do with these names and number, I'll call Bob's people. So say Bob had a guy named Tim. I'm going to call Tim. I say, hey, Tim, this is Ray McDonald. I'm with Someone Like Advantage. Bob, Bob, he's coming on board our company. We're currently interviewing him right now. He put you down as a reference for his character. What can you tell me about Bob, Tim? And Tim would be like, oh, well, Bob's a great guy. We love Bob. Yada, yada, yada. I'm going to do this all 6 times. And then what's happening is then I asked Bob, I told Tim, hey, Tim, thanks so much for taking my call. Thanks so much for giving Bob a great recommendation. One last thing before I let you go, Tim, is does Bob have enough credibility with you that if he was doing something new or different, does he have enough credibility with you that you'll give him 10 or 15 minutes every time? And he'll say, oh, yes, of course. Great. Hey, Tim, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Boom, click. I do that again 6 times. Now, I say this, and this is my angst in a whole, and I'll explain to you later on why I do this, but it's important. It's important that you do call all these people and make a copy of this and save it. And then, again, all this is done within 24 to 48 hours of your meeting, okay? Now, phase 1 is the next step that we do. So what we just did was the info sheet, and we did the interview. Now you're going to phase 1. Now, the phase 1 is important, and the phases are very, very important in how we conduct and do our system, okay? Because now the phases are a checklist, not just for your agent, but also for yourself as well. There's a checklist to help kind of keep you in line for your business as we do this, okay? So this is very important because when the time the agent is done with phase 1, they're going to know exactly where they're at and exactly what they should be doing and not second guessing. So too many times in other companies and other programs where people come on board and they join a team and they don't know what's going on. They don't know if they should be over here, they should be over there. They don't know what they should be doing. The idea of the phases is to keep them in line and let them know exactly where they're supposed to be at, but also B is to help you to know exactly where they're at as well too, okay? So phase 1, again, done within 24 to 48 hours. If you ask your agent, have you heard of big circle, little circle? They're going to say yes or no. Then does your new agent have a valid insurance license? Again, this is a checklist for you as well. Does your new agent have a valid insurance license? They say yes. Number 3, have you set phase 1 appointment within 48 hours of interest? Again, it's a checklist for you to help keep you and hold you accountable that you're staying true to the system, because systems only work if you work in the system. So it's critical and important that you stay true to the system. So we're doing everything here 24 to 48 hours. Excuse me. If a new agent is licensed, have you started his or her appointment process yet? Okay, now, this is important, because if your new agent is licensed, you should give them their contracting paperwork right after the interview phase. So right after the interview phase, you need to be giving them their contracting paperwork for them to start filling out. Okay, but again, this is a checklist for you as well as this for your new agent, kind of keep everything moving down the line and where no agent gets left behind. Number 5, if new agent is not licensed, have you reviewed license coach with them? Excuse me. And then they have signed up for the course. So if you have someone who joined your team who's not licensed, which is fantastic, that's great. You want to make sure that they're part of the license coach program, and so that they're aware of that. Number 7, has new agent seen or an IUL presentation? This is also very important, because you want to make sure that your agents have seen and they know what the IUL presentation is. Because a lot of times when we go on our field training appointments, we go in using the big circle, little circle presentation, which is part of the IUL presentation. So you want to make sure that they understand this. Number 8, has new agent done their internal consumption sale? If not, when? Again, this is very important, because we have an agent come on board and then they don't have insurance. You're going to ask them, do you have insurance? Yes or no. If they don't have insurance, well, we want all of our agents to have insurance. Okay, but we feel that's kind of hypocritical for us to go out there and sell something that we don't have. Now, part of the system that we have is that all of our agents will get a policy, and they have to get it from the hiring agent. That's just part of the system. That's how we do things here. That's part of the method to the madness of everything. Everybody has to get their own policy from the person who brought them into business all the way down, because eventually it all trickles up, and it all trickles up to you once this starts happening. So make sure that your agents do the internal consumption sale. Number 9, if the internal consumption sale is done, what product did they get? What's their AP? What's the method of payment, and so forth? Now, the other thing that's important about the internal consumption sale that you should understand and know is to advance in the comp plan, everybody has to be insured. Okay? Everybody has to have a policy on them in order for them to advance in promotions in the comp plan, which we'll go over here shortly. Number 10, have you reviewed your goals on why handouts with your agent? What it's asking you here is telling you that you need to give your new agent their goals on why handout at this time, okay? Now, the goals on why handout comes with the phase 1, okay? So you're going to give the goals on why handout that comes with this phase 1 packet. You're going to give it to your new agent and say, hey, look, your homework is that I need you to fill this out and have it back for our phase 2 meeting. And they're going to bring in their goals on why with the phase 2 meeting that you're scheduling within 24 to 48 hours. Have you set a date to review your goals and why? Okay, again, this is part of phase 2. Okay, we're on phase 1 right now, but we're going into phase 2. Okay, so you're gonna set a date. So your date with goals, your goals on why, when you're going to review it, is going to coordinate with number 13. Have you set an appointment for your phase 2? So number 11 and number 13 kind of go hand in hand. Also, number 12, you're going to talk about how you viewed and signed new agent agreement form with new agent. Again, you're going to show them on here, because you'll have this printed out on the phase 2. And also, for you guys online who are watching this online right now live, or who watch this from on the recording from the website, you're able to look down on the bottom right-hand side of your screen right now. there's a PDF file that you can print out all of these phases right now at any time between now and any time you're watching this presentation at any point from either on a website or now live. Okay, so you'll be able to print out all these forms and you'll be able to see these. And we'll go here in a minute. So the homework assignment that they're going to bring to you in phase 2 that you set up in your date with them, again within 24 to 48 hours, is that they're going to complete their goals and why handout, and also they're going to complete their 20 named list. That's their homework that they're going to come back with you with, okay? Now, a lot of people have come in to this business from other companies and saying, oh, well, you know, I already, you know, did that before from another company or this and that. That's fine, that's dandy, but we still want a twin name list because it's part of the system and how we're doing things, and I'll explain in more detail. So homework assignment is they're going to complete the goals and why handouts and complete the top 20 names list. Now, on the top 20 names list is important because I tell them do not prejudge. Don't say this one's too rich, this one's too poor, this one's too old, this is too young. Don't prejudge. I want 20 names on the list for people us to talk to, and I'll explain more here in a second. Now also, I give them this too. This is the comp plan, okay? I give this to them so they're getting for the home, they get the goals on why, they're getting their 20 names list. We're talking about the field training agreement form, and I'm giving them this as well. This is the comp plan. And this is important because we're going to explain each level of the comp plan as we go. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to get from here to here. We're going to talk about how to get from here to here, here to here, you know, all different levels. And look on the bottom here. Personal consumption policies required in the bottom box. Personal consumption policies required for promotion. Personal promotions required production done in 1 month. Agency promotions required target premiums done in 2 months, 2 consecutive months. And where the asterisk is, advanced agency and above required target production for 3 consecutive months. So on the top 3, personal production just done in 1 month period, 130 days straight. Then agency plus personal production from 75 down to 85. That's done in 2 consecutive months. And then when you see the asterisks, excuse me, when you see the asterisks, those are done for 3 consecutive months in a row. And again, I'll get back to this part here in a second. This is the goals and why. Again, I'm going to hand it out to them. They're going to write down what is their goal for yourself and your business. What is your goal for creating your agency? What is your why? Number 4, what interests you about this business? And why do you want to make this your career? Number 5, why is your why so important to you? I'm going to have them fill this out. Okay. Now, I'm going to jump ahead here for a second because for phase 2, I want you to be able to see this and before I get into phase 2. In phase 2, when they bring this back to me, I do not just take it from them. A lot of times when it happens in phase 2, they give this to me. I give it right back to them because I want them to read it to me. There's some psychology to all of this, right? Like I said before, there's a method to the madness for all this. The important is that they're going to, number 1, when they are writing down their goals and their why, when they write down what is your goal for yourself and the business, there's something going on with them as they're writing this down, as they're thinking about it, and as they're going from their mind down their arm into the pen, and as they're writing this down, there's something happening for them as they do this, and they're feeling something. Same thing, what is your goal for your creating your agency? Why is your why so important? And so on. Now, when they come back to me on phase 2 and they read this to me, now I ask them to read it because when you read it, they're feeling it. They're feeling it. When they're reading this, first of all, they felt it when they were writing it. Now they're feeling it again, and they're internalizing everything as they're reading. A lot of times I have agents who read this to me and they get kind of emotional because they are feeling what they wrote. And this is what you want. You want them to feel everything that's being important here, because this is a life-changing business. This is a career change. This is real. This is not something that we're just doing. It's not a hobby. This is something that helping your agent become invested into you and to the program. This is a 20 names list. Again, I asked them to fill it out. Do not prejudge. Do not prejudge. Do not, don't say this one's too rich, this one's too old, none of that stuff. 20 names list, okay? Part of the homework, then I'm going to bring back to phase 2. Now we are in phase 2. Okay, now phase 2. Phase 2, again, is done within 24 to 48 hours. People want to know, well, Ray, how come we're doing everything in 24 to 48 hours? We're creating momentum. We're creating momentum, right? When someone comes into the business, when they see the opportunity for the first time, they're excited. We got to capitalize on that excitement. When they're excited, we bring them in. We do the interview sheet. We do the info sheet, the interview sheet. 24, 48 hours later, we're doing phase 1, getting started, getting them contracted. 24 to 48 hours. Now we're doing phase 2. We're going over their goals. And we're doing everything. We're creating that momentum. We're getting the wheels turning on the bus here. So phase 2, have you reviewed your new associate goals and why? Okay, again, this is a time when they come in and they hand you that goals and why sheet. You're going to review it with them, again, and have them read it. Okay, number 2, what date would your new associate become a GA? That's the first level in conversation. Okay, and number 3, what date would your new associate become an MGA? So let me just kind of backdate here, and kind of talk about. So, what date would your new agent become a GA? So, GA is from 60 to 65. Okay, so you want to sit down with your agent and say, hey, when do you want to make that jump from 60 to 65? So what are we doing here, guys? We're creating agents to become writing, producing, productive agents. Every other company out there, all they care about is recruit, 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 recruit. Here, we're teaching you guys how to become writing, producing, productive agents, and understanding the business. Because once you're writing and you're producing and you're making money, the recruiting will come naturally. It will automatically happen. We're showing you guys how to make money. So the first thing is, how do I get from 60 to 65? We have a Fast Start program. We have a Fast Start program. So if you say, hey, I want to be a part of the Fast Start program, then you can say, okay, great. Fast Start program is if I do 3 apps in 7 days, okay, if I do 3 apps in 7 days, I get a pen, okay? If I do $5,000 in production, if I do $5,000 in production, which could be the final expense, could be, let's say, 5 to 6 apps. The final expense, $5,000 production, annualized production, then they'll jump you from the 60 to 65. You do the 5,000 in 14 days. So you got 3 days to you got 7 days to do your 3 apps to get the pen, the Fast Start pen. Then you got 14 days to do the $5,000 in annualized production to make the jump from 60 to 65. Was basically, you don't do the 10,000, you're doing the 5,000 in 7 days. Again, you're creating that Fast Start. It's important for you to create that Fast Start with your new agent. Now, the other question was, when will you be an MGA? The MGA is the first level of creating your agency. That's at 75%. So you want to ask your agent. Okay, so first thing you ask your agent, okay, when do you want to go to 65%? Okay, if you do the Fast Start program, then you're going to do that in 14 days. Now the next jump is, now you're at 65%. When are you going to go to 75% and be a managing general agent? Now the 30,000, that's your business, and also from your pen, and also business from your agents. You can have 5 producing agents, and the name of the game here, guys, is producing. You have 5 producing agents. Okay, so you can combine the 30,000 between your business and their business combined, and maintain that for 2 months, and that will bump you to the next level. Okay, so when do you want to hit that level? Now think about that for a second. You know, let's go to 80%. If you're at 80%, you're an advanced marketing agent at 50,000. You have 7 producing agents and you have 1 MGA. An MGA agent has at least five producing agents. Now again, we're creating producing agents, right? So imagine we have agents writing 4 to 5 apps a week. 4 to 5 apps a week. If you have 7 producing agents and 1 managing agent, which at least has at least 5, think about it, how many applications is being run through your business right there, okay? This is very strong income. We are teaching you guys how to be writing, producing agents. Every other company out there is all about recruit, and you have hundreds of agents, but no one's writing business. Here, we're teaching everybody how to write business, okay? So going back to phase 2, we took care of number 2. What dates will your new associate be a general agent? Again, a fast start. Number 3, what day will your new agent be a general manager? Okay, because again, I want to know the dates on this thing because I'm teaching my agents how to be accountable. Okay, now they have a goal, they have a set date. Now we have a plan on how we're going to get that date. Okay. Number 4, have you reviewed and completed the field training agreement form? Okay, this is letting you know that the field training agreement form is coming up. Number 5, have the new associate created their 20 name list? Again, they did the homework in phase 2. Say, hey, where's that list of names that you supposed to have for me? And you're gonna go over that list of names. Number 6, you're gonna help qualify for the names list. Okay, so this is very important. How you qualify for the names list. This is what I do, and it works very effectively. And I think that everybody should be kind of do it the same way. This is how you qualify for the names list. Hey, Bob. Okay, so I appreciate you bringing in these 20 names. Okay, fantastic. Now, Bob, if you were driving down the road and your car broke down and you're in the middle of nowhere, who would be the first person on this 20 name list that you will call? Bob will say, well, I'll call my Aunt Susie. Okay, great, Bob. Why would you call Aunt Susie? Oh, okay, she's my aunt. She loves me. She does anything for me. You know, she's always there. Great. I put a little star by Aunt Susie. Bob, we called Aunt Susie. She didn't answer the phone. It's getting darker. Kind of getting colder. Who'd be the first person? Who'd be the second person you'll call? Well, I'll call Jim. Why Jim? Well, Jim's a long-time family friend. He's always been there for me too. Okay, great. We called Jim. Bob, Jim's not home either. Now it's getting darker. Now it's starting to rain. It's getting colder and it's raining now. Darker. Who'd be the third person you call? You know, I call this person, and I go down the list and I do it by 5 or 6 times. Okay, so what I just did was I qualified their names list. Okay, now number 7, have you reviewed new agent or new associates' effective method of contacting? Okay, so how are we going to contact these people? Now, other companies out there, what they do is that they ask you to make a list of names, and they just burn right through your list of names with no care or regard for the relationship that you have with these people. They just want to burn through your list of names. We do things differently here, and we have a method to all this. So what we do is like, hey, Bob, this is what we're going to do. So you put Aunt Susie as your first person on your list that you'll call if you were stuck. So we'll call Aunt Susie. That's what we're going to tell Aunt Susie. Hey, Aunt Susie, this is Bob. And of course, Aunt Susie goes, hey, Bob. Hey, I need a huge favor from you. Of course, if your Aunt Susie should do anything for you. Sure. What's the favor? Well, I don't know if you know or not, and it's important, guys, that you stay true to this. This is how to keep it real simple. I don't know if you know or not, but I started working for this new insurance company, and I'm in the process of doing some training right now, and I need somebody to practice on. And Susie will say either one or two things. She'll say, okay, great, fantastic, I'm happy to help. Or she'll say, well, do I have to buy anything? No, Aunt Susie, you don't have to buy anything. I'm just doing trainings. Okay? Okay, fine, great. Is it okay if I come by the house tomorrow at 7? Yes, fantastic, great. Come to the back door like you always do. It's Aunt Susie. She knows you. She loves you. You know, she's there to help you. Say, great, Aunt Susie. I'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And then I do my old Columbo method, okay, and where I play Columbo. I say, hey, Aunt Susie, hey, one last thing before I let you go. I appreciate, number one, that you let me see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. I'll let you know, hey, I'm going to have Ray, my field trainer, is going to be there. So, you know, just let you know he's going to be there. Are you okay with Ray being there as well? Because he's my field trainer, so he has to observe and watch this field training. Of course, Aunt Susie will be like, sure, yeah, absolutely, right? So then I said, hey, Aunt Susie, great, see you tomorrow. Ray would not be there, see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock at your house, and I really appreciate it. Oh, one last thing, Aunt Susie. Again, my Columbo method. And Susie, also, to let you know, if you cannot make it for any reason, please let me know. Because the other day, Ray and I were on a field training, and Ray's a very busy guy, and I had a field training set up, and went to my buddy's house, and knocked on the door, and nobody answered. And I was so embarrassed. It was embarrassing, and Ray was looking at me, and I just felt this big. So if you cannot make it for any reason, Aunt Susie, please let me know. What I did here is a couple things. Number one, I solidified the appointment. Again, Susie thinking, oh, poor Bob, was stuck on the porch with Ray. How embarrassing that be. I would never do that to him. So I solidified the appointment. The other thing is I lowered the defense mechanism from Aunt Susie, because she's there thinking that she's there to help me. Okay, and she even asked, do I gotta buy anything? I said, no, you don't have to buy anything. We're not going to hog tie anybody into buying anything they don't want to buy. But again, she's there to help. So her defenses is down, is lowered, and she knows that we're going to be there with somebody else. So that's number 7. Number 8, have you role played on the script with a new associate? That's what we just did right now. We role played. Okay. You want to do the exact same thing with your agent, and you want to kind of stay true to the role playing that I just did with you right now. Again, all this is recorded, so you can play this over and over again and be able to watch this and hear what I'm saying. Number 9, did you make calls with your associate? So what I do after I do the role playing and the effective method of contacting, I have the agent call right there in front of me. So what happens is, if I have them go home and make the phone calls, they're not going to talk to Aunt Susie the way that I just told them to talk to Aunt Susie. There's a method to the madness. There's a system that we follow, and the system works. So that's why you want to have them make calls in front of you, so you're watching them and making sure they're staying true to the script that you just gave them. It's important, because trust me, when they go home and do it on their own, they're not going to do it anywhere near the way that we just did it right now. So have them make the calls with you in front of the room and make sure I do it correctly. Number 10, did you set up a new appointment with new associates? So when they're calling their people on the list in front of you, now you're able to set an appointment. Oh, great. So Aunt Susan said we can see her tomorrow at 7. Boom. Okay, you got your first appointment. Okay. So this is how you're going to set your appointment up here. A lot of people, this is where people fail in the system, because they're not having their people call them in front of them, and they're not able to make appointments. This is where a lot of people drop the ball and are not having success in their field training, because they're not being present with them when they are making the calls. Number 11, have you reviewed method of follow-up with your new associate? Again, you're going to talk to them how they're going to follow up with them and all this stuff. Okay, now number 12, it's important. Have you reviewed your weekly goals and why with your associate? We are going to get into that part here in a second. Number 13, have you created with your new associate a working schedule? It's important. Okay, so we have a weekly goal report, and now we have a working schedule. Guys, this here is the bread and butter of the system. Because, again, if you guys have been involved in the insurance industry for any period of time, what's happening out there with other companies is that the other companies, they say they have a system, but they really don't. Their system is kind of like, do this and do that, and here's the scripts, and here's a webinar, watch this webinar, and here's the scripts, now go get them. There's nobody keeping you accountable. Let me ask you a question right now, and this is for everybody that's listening online or watching this video. Who's been keeping you accountable in your business up to this point? Nobody. All right? Who's been keeping you accountable? Have you been keeping track of your weekly goals in your report every single week? Here, we're tracking your progress every week. We're keeping you accountable. We're giving you a working schedule. But see, the system only works if you work the system. The system only works if you're following the schedule that's being given to you. Number 14, have you set up phase 3 with your new associate? Again, you want to do that within 24 to 48 hours. Now, this is the weekly goal report. This is the bread and butter, like I just said. So there's 2 blocks, week 1, week 2. The first column is your weekly goal. Number of new contacts added, number of new calls made, number of connection calls, follow-up calls, event invites, preset appointments, appointments kept, new appointments set, new recruits, new apps, and minutes of reading. Okay, so this, the first column is your weekly goals. So again, this is your goal. And the whole idea of your business is to stretch you. Okay, a lot of people get in this business, they don't have a goal. They might think, well, I want to make $1 million. I want to make 6 figures this year, and that's their goal. But is that really a goal? Think about that. Is that really a goal? No, it's not. They're saying, yeah, I'll make $1,000, $100,000. That's just a well thought out wish. What are you doing to get you to $100,000? What's your plan to get you to $100,000? Again, it's where a lot of people fail because they don't have a plan. They have a well thought out wish on what they will wish to make at the end of the year, but they have no set goal, no set plan. There's no direction. There's no accountability, and that's what we're providing for you guys: is accountability, a system that works. So your first weekly goal is you got to look at this as your business plan for the week, because if you are going to make $100,000 for that year, you better have a business plan. Again, a lot of people say, I want to make $100,000 or $1 million. Okay, well, what's your plan? What's your business plan? Here, we're giving you a business plan every single week where you can measure your business every single week. First column, weekly goals, new contacts added. Again, stretch yourself. Don't give yourself gimmies. Don't give yourself stuff that you know you could do in your sleep. You're not stretching yourself. What you're doing is you want to stretch yourself. So new contacts added. Say I want 15 new contacts this week. I want to do 20 new calls this week. I want to do 13 new connection calls. Connection calls are calls where you call somebody and you actually connect with them. A voicemail does not constitute as a connection. Connection is someone that you talk to. Number of follow-up calls. As these businesses start to grow, you have follow-up calls. So how many follow-up calls do you have? The follow-up calls are important. So the old thing is true. The money is in the follow-up. And this is going to help keep you on track and remind you, what are you doing about the follow-ups? A lot of people do not follow up. Preset appointments. How many appointments kept? How many people are you expecting to keep their appointments? How many new appointments did you set for the week? Right? If you're going to be writing and producing, you better have some set of appointments. How many new recruits are you going to have into your business? I think I missed one there. I missed the invite event invite. How many people are you inviting this either to see the presentation live or online? Number of apps for the week. How many apps are you going to write that week? Okay, this is important to have a goal. So you say, I'm going to write 5 apps this week, total AP. And then lastly is minutes of reading. How many minutes are you reading? because we believe here very strongly that if you're going to be a leader in this business, you got to be a reader, and you got to read, good books. No Daniel Steele romance novel books. I'm talking about books that you can actually read that pertains to our business. Books that are going to motivate you, inspire you, encourage you. Books that some of my best mentors, especially early in my career, were books that I started reading. My first book I ever read in regards to business was Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. That became my Bible. And then I started going into, Stephen F. Covey and other leadership books as well, kind of get my mind right and keep me going. But a lot of times, when you're out there by yourself and being an insurance agent can be a lonely business, it's the books that you read that will inspire you to keep pushing forward. Now, the second column here, so the first one is week 1, week 2. You do the same thing. So now, if you're my agent and you give this to me, you turn this in every week. So every Monday, your upline agent manager should have this. And if you're my agent, I'm going to look at this. I say, okay, you say you have 5 new appointments set, okay? And then what we do is like on Monday, you did 3, Tuesday did 1, Wednesday did 2, whatever. Then at the end of the last column, we'll total the week out. If I see that you have all these appointments set, but no business written, that tells me there's a problem. Or say that you have 15 set appointments and you only have 3 apps written, well, that tells me there's a problem. I'm going to sit you down and say, hey, look, tell me what you're saying to these agents or I'm saying to your clients. Let's role play a little bit. Now I'm able to help my agent and give them a prognosis for their business. Now the second column is the second week. So then we're going to do the same thing. Now I can measure week 2 to week 1 and measure their growth. Then week 3 to week 4 to week 5 to week 6, I'm measuring their growth and keeping them accountable. Now I'm helping them become writing, producing, productive agents with accountability and truly with a system that's going to help them stay on track. But again, a lot of companies out there are not even doing anything like this. Okay? Then this is the field training agreement. Okay? Now, field training agreement is we're going to go out and do field training. Okay? Everyone is invested. This agreement states that you are partnered agent and you will learn just from your first 5 field trainings. Okay? So, number 1, so what we do here is on top here. So I, Ray McDonald, field trainer, agree to commit to field train Bob on his 5 field trainings. The field trainings will begin on this day and will end on this day, a maximum of 7 days. So Bob and I are going to do 5 field trainings in 7 days. Okay? Remember earlier, we're creating that momentum, right? Every 24 to 48 hours, we're doing an interview. 24 to 40 hours, we're doing phase 1. 24 to 40 hours, we're doing phase 2. Now we're creating that momentum. We're going to do 5 field trainings in 7 days. We could do 3 field trainings in 1 day. I have agents set up multiple field trainings back to back to knock it out quickly, but we're going to do 5, no more than 7 days. We're creating that momentum. The field trainer agreement. I, Ray McDonald, am committing myself with my signature below and assisting with the time and the resources to complete the needed field training for the new agent and with the new associate and time frame above. And then Bob, he's going to sign, I, Bob, new associate, I'm committing myself with my signature below to complete my prospect list and to have 5 solid set appointments for my field trainer and to complete them in the time frame that's stated above. Okay? Now, the field trainer, this is my commitment signature to my field trainer. Bob signs it. Then this is my commitment signature to my new associate. I sign it. We both date it. Okay, then I asked Bob, hey Bob, would you like to be part of that fast track program like I mentioned earlier? Okay, the fast track. So fast track is I need to complete 3 applications in my in my first 7 days to receive my PIN, your Fast Start PIN. I need to write $5,000 in annualized premium in my first 14 days to advance one commission level. Okay, so you want your new agent to be a part of the Fast Start program. This is going to help them, and it's going to help you. They initial it. Okay, then what you do, you make a copy for you, make a copy for them, and then you send a copy up to your upline management. So now so Bob and I have a written binding agreement between he and I that we're going to do 5 field trainings in 7 days. Now the field trainings, guys, it's a 50-50 split. Okay, so you go out and do field training with your new agent, it's 50-50. Okay, 50% of the commission. That's a fair price for training. Okay, so when you go out and do the field training, it's important that you're the field trainer and you go out and you're training Bob and his field training. You're going to go see Aunt Susie, like that appointment you set. You're going to go there and you're going to, what I do is I do the first 2, maybe 3, depending on the level of Bob's understanding everything. And then I say, Bob, look, when I'm doing the field training, don't interrupt me. I know she's your aunt, and you love her very much, but you don't say a word. Let me do all the talking. Let me do everything. I'm doing the first 2, maybe 3, okay? And then when I sit down with Aunt Susie, hey, Aunt Susie, I really appreciate you helping out Bob here with the field training. Again, I'm walking in there telling her how much I appreciate her helping. Again, because when we called her, we lowered the defensive, says, hey, you're just here to help. I'm coming in there again saying, hey, Aunt Susie, thank you for your help. Again, lowering her defenses. And now I tell Bob, don't say a word. Okay? Now, when Bob and I are done with the field training, he and I will say, hey, Bob, good job in the field training. Maybe we made a sale. Maybe we didn't. Regardless, it's important, it's imperative, and part of the system to say, hey, Bob, meet me at the McDonald's. Meet me at the Starbucks around the corner. And then Bob and I are going to sit down there at each field training, and we're going to process and we're going to talk about what happened. Hey, do you see when Aunt Susan said this? I did that. Well, see, when she moved this way, I moved that way. This is training, okay? This is a training session. This is not you as an agent to hire people to go out and make a sale and do a high five in the driveway after you made a sale. This is not what that's about. This is about you helping your agent create and build a true business model where they can go out there and teach them and train them. Now, on the last 2 or 3 field trainings, I let Bob do it, and I won't say a word. I'll let Bob do it. Then again, he and I will meet at Starbucks or McDonald's to go over the field training, and I will critique Bob then. I will not critique Bob at the table. Okay? Now, real quick, when you go into phase 3, I'll be at phase 3. In phase 3, we talk about here, have you given your new associate or agent a tour of the back office? Okay, we're going to have a back office. We're going to have, we can kind of see what's going on. Does the new associate know when the Summon Alliance Advantage calls are and the webinars are? Okay, so that's why it's important that we get the info sheet in the beginning of all of this. So they are included in the emails and the test blast messages that go out. But also you as a leader, and you as a hiring agent for your agents, you want to trust but verify, right? Trust that they're getting the emails from the home office and the text blast from home office, but you as a hiring agent, as a leader, want to make sure that they are getting on the calls as well. Does the new associate know when all the calls are, webinars, meetings, whatnot? Does the new agent know where to find events? Okay, in the back office, we have an event calendar with different events going around the country. You want to plug into what's going on with your events. You want to know what's happening. You want to go to, we have boot camps going around in different parts of the country. You want to know what's happening and stay plugged in. Like we always say here at the home office is that you want to stay close to the fire. So if we stay close to the fire, you stay warm. When you're not on the calls, you're not at the events, you're not on the webinars or anything like that, you're not staying close to the fire, you're going to turn cold or you're going to wither away. So you want everybody to stay close to the fire. Number 5, does your new associate have recommended reading material? Okay, again, readers are leaders. It's important for you to be reading the right books and motivating your agents to read the right books, and also video material. We have on our website in the back office, we have tons of videos, tons of material, even books that we suggest that you can read that's on the website in the back office. Okay, so just a recap of the system. We have the interviews and an agent agreement form. We have the phase 1 and the goals and why. Phase 2, the where to go report. Phase 3, time to get out there. Phase 4, it's all about action, plan, execute. Time to order your leads. Come in and set appointments, knock on doors. If you have direct mail and leads, start writing applications. Take advantage of, if you see the system that we've laid out here, guys, the system, we talked about the 5 build trainings and doing all that and getting the referrals. We did all that. We didn't even talk about the lead program. We didn't even talk about the lead program. To be a well-rounded agent, it's important to you guys to truly follow the system. To truly follow the system, now you're working without leads. You do not want to be lead dependent. You don't want to be a lead junkie. If you're lead dependent and you're a lead junkie, then eventually the leads will turn cold or not be available in your area, and that happens when you're out of business. Being a well-rounded agent is learning how to network, to talk to people, to get referrals, to let people know who you are. You do not want to be a secret agent. You want to be a writing, producing agent. And the leads that we have are available here. Some of the lines of advantage are awesome, and they're exclusive leads. But the leads are just the tools. They're just a tool for you, and for you to generate your business. So, guys, we appreciate you being part on this webinar and this information and watching this video. Again, I encourage you to watch this over and over again. Stay true to the script. Stay true to what was being said on here. Try to say everything verbatim, because this is how the system works. And the system works if you truly work the system. And again, everything you need, all the phases, everything is on the bottom part on the right-hand side of the screen of this video. Again, guys, thank you so much for being here. And we'll see you on the next training.